With Grand Theft Auto 6 scheduled for a November 2026 launch, the decade of history built in Los Santos now faces an expiration date. Players have spent thousands of hours building digital lives, forming crews, and accumulating millions in virtual real estate. Leaving that progress behind carries a heavy psychological weight. While much of the conversation focuses on the return to Vice City, there is an underlying assumption that the arrival of the new game requires the total shutdown of the old one. This anxiety stems from treating a major software upgrade as a funeral for a digital home. That fear is rooted in Rockstar's uncompromising history with older hardware. They have a track record of cutting ties when technology moves forward. On December 16, 2021, the publisher completely shut down the servers for the PlayStation 3 version of the game, ending all multiplayer access. The shutdown hit the Xbox 360 version at the same time. This was a sweeping corporate policy, not an isolated technical issue. More recently, Red Dead Online has seen a cessation of content updates, leaving players with a sense of abandonment as resources shifted elsewhere. Based on these established patterns, players have a logical, evidence-based reason to believe their digital world is slated for demolition. Despite those historical fears, third-party data indicates a massive player base still logs into the current game daily. Major content releases continue to trigger reliable surges of returning players, proving the world still has a significant draw. This level of sustained engagement contradicts the typical life cycle of a 10-year-old game. The sheer volume of active, monetizable users makes a hard server shutdown an illogical business move for any publisher. The publisher's leadership describes a strategy that deviates from those past shutdowns. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick has publicly committed to supporting the current game, even after the sequel launches. This coexistence strategy mirrors a previous rollout in China, where a major basketball sequel launched while the original game remained fully active for its community. This model allows two digital communities to function simultaneously, sharing an ecosystem rather than forcing a mass migration. While the lights stay on, the primary development focus and major updates will inevitably move to the new title. The current plan stabilizes the existing game as a legacy asset, rather than scheduling it for execution. Beyond corporate strategy, the transition is dictated by the physical constraints facing the player base. The cost of upgrading to next-generation hardware on day one will lock a huge portion of the audience out of the new game at launch. Furthermore, based on Rockstar's history, PC players likely face a multi-year waiting period for their version of the sequel. Due to these hardware and platform limitations, the current world remains the primary playground for millions of players long after the sequel arrives. Now, the very definition of an end for a digital universe is shifting from sudden deletion to careful preservation. Los Santos is stepping down as the center of the franchise to become a functional archive of past gameplay. If the current strategy holds, the servers will remain active, housing a decade of digital history and player investment. The era of absolute dominance is closing, but the world survives as a record of the decade that defined it.